Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Ace and I'll be talking a little bit about the Halloween patch, also to be named the Shadow of the Mad King, or is named the Shadow of the Mad King. And it's a big ass content patch, guys. There's a lot of stuff, so I can't really go through every single thing. I will put a link to the exact patch notes in the description box so you can figure out what recipe has been changed. But I'll be talking about the big stuff and the global stuff, and perhaps give my opinion about it, or just, you know, talk about it, I suppose. And you can let me know what you think, because there's a lot of things that have been tweaked, fixed, nerfed, buffed. So a lot of heated opinions may arrive sooner than later. Anyway, talking about Halloween first, because that's the big thing of the patch, of course. Halloween has started, it is here, and it has 4 acts. The Halloween event within the game itself. Act 1, of course, has been started. And Act 4, the last act, which also has been rumored to be, well, has been told to be the pinnacle of the event, which of course makes sense. So the big thing that will happen within the Halloween event will happen in Act 4, which will start on October 31st. Act 2 and Act 3 will start on October 26th and October 28th. So not a lot of time between those two. So you have to be quick about it if you want to get all the achievements and such, because there's a lot of stuff that has been added, including some new skins that you can either buy off the trading post for insane amounts of money, and it's still rising, or of course from Black Lion chests, because the Black Lion chests now drop a lot of Halloween stuff, including skins and of course some other Halloween related stuff. But the skins are the main important things, because for example the Great Saw Greatsword skin, which is my favorite of all the weapon skins, which is a giant chainsaw that is a great sword, which kind of already is put into the name itself, I suppose, but it looks really crazy, really insane, just like the other stuff. It just looks insane and crazy. I don't really have other words for it. So you really want to check those out, including some new shoulder pads, at least skins for shoulders as well. I like that ArenaNet suddenly puts within the patch notes that, of course, you can buy the Black Lion keys from the trading post, which either requires you to invest gold or invest real money to buy gems to get them. So, real subtle ArenaNet, real subtle. Regardless, some new costumes have been added to the gem store, which is kind of awesome. Costumes allow you to do the costume brawling, which is something you saw in the video already, which is kind of nice. But in addition to that, also some new spooky tonics, so Halloween related tonics that will transform you in an entire new being. And also some mini pets, so if you are a collector of mini pets, which I am sure there are a lot of, you might want to check it out. There's a ghost, a skeleton and a spider. And some new town clothing has been added to the trading post as well, including a free one, which are devil horns, so keep an eye out on that. But also some ones that are for some gems that you have to buy, which actually look not too bad if you really are into the spooky type stuff. And of course some cheesy stuff like Halloween PvP finishers and such, but personally I'm not really bothered about things like that. Costume Brawl is something I was going to be talking a little bit about. It's basically you get into a costume which you can either buy from the trading post, or you can activate by jumping into a giant green pot of goo, which you have to achieve by a little easy jumping puzzle. And what does this allow you to do is basically have a little brawl with other people dressed up as costumes, and this allows you to get some achievements. So if you are an achievement hunter, you definitely want to look into that. And talking about achievements, some achievements have been added to the game itself, which is kind of insane, because they're not only Halloween achievements. 19 new exploration achievements have been added to the Explorer achievement list, including Dive Master, so keep that in mind. And also some new jumping puzzle achievements have been added to the game, because they also have been adding some new jumping puzzles to the game itself. So definitely worth checking out. The Mystic Forge has a lot of tweaks and just some fixes as well. So if you really are into recipes and mystic forging and stuff, you want to keep an eye out on that if you don't want to mess your forging over, to put it nicely, to say the least. And also some gifting that you are able to do to get some other stuff as well regarding Halloween, by the looks of it. The events itself in Terraria or in Guild Wars 2 have been fixed. Like, for example, bugged and stuck events in Straits of Devastation have been fixed. There have been 30 new events added across the game, so that's kind of good to see. But it mainly comes down to a lot of bug fixes, because I think that most Guild Wars 2 players know that a lot of events tend to bug out or not continue properly, which I suppose is a bug, or don't start, which is also a bug. So it's good to see that Guild Wars 2 is on top of that to really fix most of these events while still adding. Like, I don't like to see that they only add and never fix, because I really hate that. But they are definitely trying to fix a lot of bugs regarding the events, so that's kind of awesome to see. Worldview World, apparently there were still some exploits that allowed players to teleport through walls. I thought it was initially fixed, but apparently not entirely. So that should be fixed right now. A thing that I'm really happy with is that players now really have to be closer to an arrow card to be able to interact with it, which is so nice, because once they had an arrow card up on a certain wall, they could just be in hiding and they would not be able to be damaged whatsoever, and this should potentially make that a little bit harder for them, so you can actually, you know, try and fight arrow cards on walls in a certain sense, depending on the angle, of course. Apparently there was also some racials that bug out, like the Char landmine was able to be used in Worldview World areas. Did not know that, but then again, it's good that it should be fixed up, because no racials are able to be used in PvP environments. And when it comes down to real general updates, the list is rather impressively long. And I'm rather surprised that things like butter and such are now not able to be dropped anymore from loot bags above level 50 or level 50 and above, and also don't drop anymore from centaurs and stolen supply dropped by Ettins and some other crazy stuff. And it basically comes down to a lot of nerfs, a lot of tweaks, like I just said, for the butter and stuff, and some story related things. I will, like I stated in the beginning of this video, the link is in the description below. You really want to check it out, because I'm not entirely sure what they are thinking, but I'm not entirely sure that I'm either agreeing or disagreeing with it yet. I'll see how it turns out, which is why I'm not really giving my entire full opinion about it, because I don't really have one yet on that, but I really have to see how it turns out. Regarding the professions, I would love to go through all the professions, but I don't really know how most of the professions play besides Elementalist and Guardian, so I can't really talk about most of it. But it seems that overall the Elementalist has been buffed, especially its downstate, even though it's still bad. Like, every single race or class, I should say, or every single profession, if you really want to use the correct Guild Wars 2 terms, has a way to counter things, like, let's say, teleport you away or teleport yourself away in stealth or mist form and things like that, to get out of harm's way. Like the Elementalist really has to wait a very long time before mist form becomes active, and if you're doing things like Worldview World and such, you're doomed. You're just bloody doomed. But nonetheless, it appears that the down skills that you do have available are in fact buffed. You can't resurrect dead allies anymore, which is kind of a bad nerf. I really hated that. So yeah, basically Elementalists get an overall nice buff. There's nothing to be worried about that. I am a little bit worried about thieves though, because thieves are really overpowered in certain situations and are very spammy. And it does seem that they actually still get some buffs or some tweaks that are considered to be positive, which is interesting to see. But also some nerfs left and right, but still thieves are really a powerful force to be reckoned with, especially in World 3 World. You can't stop them. You can't even see them coming, and you get killed so fast if you are not a guardian or a warrior that you can't even properly react sometimes. They have so much burst, and if you're trying to counter, they just stealth away. It's really insane. So I really would like to see some tweaks on that, but because Guild Wars 2 does have a system implanted right now that certain abilities don't affect, at least a nerf doesn't affect PvP purposes. Like, they really are trying to make sure the skills do do the same thing but in different quantities. For example, a Signet for the Guardian, or the Save Yourself, I should say, for the Guardian, which is not a Signet, it's a Shout, is a very good example for this, where the version for PvP purposes now only lasts for 5 seconds instead of the normal amount. Things like that, which really allows Guild Wars 2 or ArenaNet to nerf between PvE and PvP purposes without screwing PvE over when they are nerfing PvP and etc, which is very good to see. Talking about Guardians in general, there's no massive changes. There's mainly some tightening of skills, like Leap of Faith should function properly now. There were some really weird bugs that I experienced with Leap of Faith, which really messed me up. Like, I just randomly jumped a different side even though I had a different target targeted on the other side, like things like that, like why? But overall, some nice fixes. Slight buffs, give or take. Well, I suppose the only buff that I can really tell or see is the symbol of Wrath, which basically means the attack has been improved by 10%, which is nothing really to be laying awake about. But overall, there's nothing really game-breaking, nothing really so weird out of the question that it should really be mentioned. So I do recommend just to go out there, read the patch notes for your profession, and of course read them for the profession that you hate, like thieves, because goddamn I hate them. And at last but not least, apparently there was a bug with Mac keyboards other than the US versions. I don't care, I hate Macs. Mac should be burned to death. PC is the power race. All hail PC. Yeah. Anyway, before we turn this into a fanboy rant why I hate Macs and I'm really a big fan of PCs, I should really call it a day. Let me know what you think about the patch notes overall. I think they're alright. Like, I'm really sad that certain things have been changed. I would also still like to see certain things to still be changed. I'm looking at the thieves, of course. Nonetheless, I am right now just really enjoying Halloween, and so should you. So I will catch you guys next time, and take care.